Welcome to the Standout Strategy webinar series. My name is Brittany Hayes. I am a career coach in the Undergraduate Business Career Center. I use she, her pronouns. Today, we will discuss strategizing your resume and cover letter, which will focus on conducting a strategic reading of a job description and understanding how applicant tracking systems work, as well as analyzing your own documents to be more strategic. Okay. So to get started, I do want to share a little bit about my own job search strategy that I used when looking for my first full-time job. Typically, an entry-level resume will be about 1 page or 2, depending on the industry. However, sometimes you might have experiences that will not fit on those pages. So for this reason, it's great to have a master resume that includes all of your experiences, including those that are paid or unpaid opportunities that have a variety of skills and a number of accomplishments. So I had a master resume where I kept all of this information. This document can be however you want it to be. Mine was probably 5 to 6 pages long, and I stored it on a USB drive. And so on my USB drive, I created a folder and labeled it Job Search. And then in that folder, I have subfolders for each job that I applied to with the name of the organization or the company. And if I was applying to more than one role within that company, I would just organize it again with more subfolders and labeling my resumes and my cover letters with the name of the title of that position. Next, at the time when I had access to printing, I would actually track each application by printing out each job description, each resume and cover letter for the positions, and then I stored it in a 3-ring binder. If I were to do this now, I would probably just use Google Drive to store my master resume and all of my documents, and then create some sort of spreadsheet to use that as an application tracking document instead of a 3-ring binder. And then finally, I created a Gmail account specifically for my job search. This is an email that is listed on my resume, it's listed on my cover letter, and it's connected to my LinkedIn account. I also use this email for any application accounts that I had to create on an organization's website. So anytime I applied for a job, the confirmation email was sent directly to my email, and it helped me track any communication with relevant contacts without it all getting lost in my school email or mixed in with any free coupons or rewards programs in my personal email. So then for all positions that I applied to, I did print the job description and highlighted all of the skills and responsibilities that I had, which made me qualified for that position. Then I reviewed the website for the organization and researched that so I can include all of that relevant information as well in my application. And for each position, I then used the information from the job description and the website to tailor my resume and cover letter. And today, if I were doing this, instead of printing out all of the job description and resume and cover letter information, I probably would just copy and paste the job description to a Word document and then use that to highlight my relevant information. Now, I know this might sound like a lot to do, especially when applying for multiple jobs while probably being in school, but that's why it's important to schedule and block off time for your job search. Today's session is being recorded and will be available in our SOS webinar series. And you will be able to go back and watch yesterday's session in our series that was titled Finding a More Strategic Job Approach to the Job Search Process, which will give you more tips on how to set aside time for doing some of this. So when it comes to tailoring your job search materials, the job description is your map. When deciding which jobs to apply to, it is not necessary that you have to meet all of the job requirements of that position. Studies show that younger applicants and women tend to shy away from applying to jobs. And in fact, women apply to about 20% fewer jobs than men. I read an article which said, don't tell yourself no, which means don't tell yourself that you're not qualified for a position, rather apply to it. And then if you don't get the position, you at least put your name in the hat. In other words, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Confidence is important when applying for job positions. Using the job description as your map and highlighting your qualifications on your materials and applying for jobs where you do meet the majority of those job requirements will enhance your opportunities. In order to conduct a strategic reading of the job description, here are some tips that will help. Thoroughly read through the job description, including any required or preferred qualifications and the list of responsibilities that you will be tasked with. And then read through anything about the company, their mission or values. So wherever it says like about the company, just to learn more. And then you want to highlight all of the skills and responsibilities that you have, and then highlight anything that interests you or anything that you resonate with. Whatever you highlight will then become keywords. And on the next slide, we will discuss applicant tracking systems, in which we will discuss why highlighting keywords in the job description is so important. So an applicant tracking system is a software used by recruiters and employers during the hiring process to collect, sort, scan, and rank the job applications. The system divides the content of the resume and your materials into categories, and then it scans for any specific keywords to determine if the job application should be passed to a recruiter. So its job is essentially to weed out unqualified applicants, and then so that the recruiter can then devote their time to evaluating candidates who might be more likely to fit the match of that position. So imagine a system that's scanning your resume into a yes or a no pile. And when you have keywords in your application and your materials, you are more likely to get a yes. But if you are missing a lot of keywords, you could be facing the no pile. About 98% of Fortune 500 companies use some sort of ATS software to streamline their recruitment process, and about 75% of those applications that get submitted are never actually seen by a recruiter. So as I mentioned on the previous slide, it is important to refer to the job description when deciding what type of language and or phrasing that you want to use, and consider when you're considering your keywords that you want to highlight on your resume. I know that this can feel discouraging or can seem intimidating, but that is why you have to be strategic, and submitting a tailored application is only part of this process. I would also recommend prioritizing and attending any networking events or opportunities that you have to connect with recruiters to have real conversations, as well as following up on your submitted applications so that the recruiter can then pull your name or your application from the pile. You want to prioritize and take any chance that you can to make a good impression and put a face to your name when meeting with recruiters. So a few do's and don'ts. So don't include graphics or tables within your resume. They do throw off the system's ability to get information from the resume, causing the ATS to simply reject that application. Do not use templates either. These can often use formatting tricks that are invisible to the eye, but are very real to the ATS system and can also get you sent to the no pile. You do want to list the names of employers first and then the dates you worked there. So oftentimes you'll see the employer's names and the dates either off to the right or the employer name in your title and then the dates underneath. So don't list your dates first, but do that second. And then you do want to upload your resume instead of typing it in. Even if you copy the text straight from your resume and paste it into the computerized system, the ATS will give a preference to any uploaded resume documents. And if PDF is one of the accepted documents, then you can upload your document as a PDF. I'm trying to go to the next slide here. There we go. As I mentioned earlier, whenever I completed a job application, I would read the job description and then highlight all of the key skills and qualifications that I have. And then I would analyze my own documents to make sure that they are articulated somewhere in the materials, kind of like putting puzzle pieces together. So sometimes there may be a qualification or skill that is phrased differently than how it's listed in your resume. And so you'll want to change any language to match the job description. For example, just using the word marketing can be weak, but using the word event promotion and marketing, if that's how it shows up in the job description, can be stronger. I often use the same example of teamwork versus collaboration. So I might have something listed in my resume that says something about teamwork, but then in the job description, it might say something about, collaborating. I would then change my word, my language, my phrasing from teamwork to collaborated with or collaboration, just to be able to match that exact keyword or language that the job description is using, even if it essentially means the same thing. So you can use keywords in a laundry list and contextually. In some industries, a skills section is common included on the resume. It is great to use any unique words or skills in your summary, in a skills summary section or just a skills section, but make sure that you're including them throughout the body of your resume as well. This will add strength to your keyword usage, and there is a difference between showing and telling. So telling is just listing the skill on your materials versus showing is demonstrating your skills through evidence to support your skills in the bullet points underneath your work or involvement experiences. This is the same for your cover letter. You can list some of your skills in your cover letter, but be sure to demonstrate and articulate how you've used that skill and within which experience that you used it in. For instance, when applying to a client-facing role, don't just list customer service under your skills section or in your skills summary, or don't just say in your cover letter, I have customer service skills. But you will want to describe and show evidence throughout your materials that describe where you've leveraged that skill exactly. It is also okay to just list hard skills, such as languages or softwares within your skills section or skills summary. So overall, that is pretty much a quick overview of how to read the job description, highlight keywords, and then make sure that you're using that to beat the system of the ATS software. And then make sure that you are, analyzing your materials to identify where are the best places you can take anything that you've done on the job description or research from that company's website to use the relevant information into your material so that it is being pulled essentially into this yes pile. And then as well, like I said, connect with recruiters to have real life conversations so that they can go back and look for your materials. Also, remember the UBCC is here if you have any questions around the job search or related to career, and you can have a one-on-one appointment with us or always refer to our resources at c.umn.edu/UBCC.